OnePlus finally unveiled their brand new OnePlus Pad 2. This is a sequel or a successor to the OnePlus Pad that was a highly successful release not that long ago, actually, about maybe a year or so ago. But one of the biggest appeals about that was the price point, it was the features, and of course the overall bundle that came with it and how well it works with all of other, OnePlus devices, specifically when it talks about interconnectivity, connecting devices, and doing more than just what typical tablets can do. But at the end of the day, it was a powerful tablet to start with. Well, the OnePlus Pad 2 is not only continuing that conversation, but it's leapfrogging the generational upgrade that we've seen in the past. This is TK, and this is my initial impressions of the brand new OnePlus Pad 2 after 24 hours. Let's go ahead and check it out. Like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. We're going to start off by talking about initial impressions. Again, I was very surprised to see that they actually pretty much not only kept the actual aesthetic, the general look of the tablet the way we had it for about a year or so ago, like April of last year, and they actually improved on a few things that I think a lot of us wanted them to improve on. Namely, the accessories that are coming with here, now we actually have an additional accessory, which is basically a folio case, but we still have the keyboard option that we had then with some improvements from what we had last year. Namely wireless connectivity, meaning the actual keyboard charges from the tablet itself and you're able to disconnect it and it'll connect over Bluetooth, and now you're able to actually use it a little bit more of a distant connection, making this a little bit more functional, especially if you like to prop up your display a little bit higher, but still like to keep the keyboard on the actual table where you're working. So from those areas, we started to see some changes. The other biggest change that we probably will see here is that there's now two different variations of this tablet as far as the storage and the RAM configuration. But they also now bumped it up all the way to the 8 Gen 3 as far as the processor, which is something that is new as well. They went from the MediaTek Dimensity 9000 to all the way the 8 Gen 3, the latest and greatest from Qualcomm. And again, literally the most powerful processor on the market today. And if I'm not mistaken, this should be the first tablet powered by this processor that can be available in the market for us to be able to check out. Now, one of the real nice things I'll say is that the overall configurations that you're going to be able to pick it up, it's either an 8 to 12 gigabytes of RAM and a 128 up to 256 gigabytes of internal storage. The resolution on this is a 3000 by 2120. Again, the same aspect ratio we had before. It's a 12.1 inch LCD panel with up to 600 nit for as far as the brightness capability. But we also have the ability of going all the way up to 144 Hertz, but the ability of also adjusting the refresh rate depending on what you're doing, but all the way down to 30 Hertz. So we have now a little bit more of a variation to be able to kind of get the best experience. The battery that we have here is a 9510 milliampere battery, and it is still supporting the 67 watt charging that we saw before, and it provides us the ability of charging this tablet quite fast. Unfortunately, there is no charger in the box, but if you have a OnePlus device, this is definitely going to work just as good. I've been using my OnePlus 12 charger with this, and it looks absolutely great, as you guys are seeing there. Charges it fast, and it allows me to actually just not have to worry about the battery life on this tablet, especially since I've been using it with my OnePlus 12 in collaboration using the PC Connect functionality that we've seen from before, because not only is it here, now it's actually fully functional at launch. Last year, when we first heard about this, there was some delays in the launching because the OnePlus 12 or the OnePlus series had to have the latest software. Right now, tethering works great, data sharing works great, the ability of transferring content from the phone to the tablet and back and forth works absolutely fantastic, and the connection just works seamlessly with the built-in NFC option that we have on the keyboard. As long as you tap it, it does that little bit of an animation, shoots straight into the tablet, connects to it, and then we're ready to go. So I really like those options that they've done in here, and the attention to detail that they've done here and improving the experience. Now, the camera stack that we have in here is supporting a 13 megapixel main sensor on the back. It's a single sensor on the back and an 8 megapixel camera sensor on the front. Now, that means we're going to be getting 4K 30 frames per second from the main camera on the back, and we're going to be getting about 1080p on the front-facing camera. Again, comparable to what we've seen before. This is a tablet, and at the end of the day, it's intended for communication, maybe casual snapping a pic here and there, but it's not really necessarily considered to be as what your smartphone would be doing. The SoC is powerful, and yeah, technically they could have gone with better sensors, but you have to keep in mind the price point that they're trying to release this at. This is, again, a very, I would say, bang for the buck, true flagship tablet experience killer that we haven't seen from other companies before. They're really aiming at a very high standard, and they're meeting it. So we're going to start off with a quick video from the front-facing sensor here. This is an 8 megapixel sensor on the OnePlus Pad 2. Again, 1080p 30 frames per second is going to be the best resolution that we're getting here. One of the things I'll probably say that this is going to be more than enough for video conferencing, taking the casual image if you want to take a snapshot. Now, as I mentioned, 4K 30 frames per second is going to be the maximum resolution that we're able to shoot there. But again, you do have an LED flash in the back in case you need to be able to support that. We don't have one on the back, or on the front at least. The design on the back of the actual unit itself did change, and actually something that changed from last year. Last year we had more of that, I would say maybe a swirly or more like a circular design that was sitting at the back. This time it's pretty much more of a smooth experience on the back, and what it does provide us at least is simpler, easier connection directly into the tablet or the kickstand for it, and it makes it easy to detach. The poker pins on the bottom are very easy, they're strong, the magnets are very good, and you're not going to have any problems there. And when you have it in the actual keyboard case, it protects it from the front and of course on the back. The folio case, of course, will provide probably a little bit more once we get our hands on that. I'll make sure to give you guys a video, but this is a quick sample of the front-facing and rear-facing video on the brand new OnePlus Pad 2. Now, Oxygen OS 14 is going to be running on this on top of Android 14. So all of the optimization, the shelf, the little dock that we have here, that we've seen come again to the OnePlus Open, to the OnePlus 12, is continuing here. And as I mentioned to you guys, the interconnectivity between the OnePlus devices as well as the tablet still work absolutely fantastic. And what I like about the aesthetics that we have in here is the fact that it is kind of almost transformative. If you need to be able to work with it in a small, more of a laptop experience, the keyboard and of course the kickstand that you're able to pick up work absolutely great. If you want to be able to separate it a little bit, the keyboard now is no longer connected to the kickstand the way it was with the first generation, and you're able to do that as we talked before, maybe prop up the display a little bit higher or even put it a little bit away from you, so in case you want to be able to enjoy just more of a relaxed experience. And of course, if you just want to get a folio, it works great. And at the end of the day, we have the Stylo 2. Now, this is an upgraded experience from what we've seen before. We don't actually have a physical button that shows up on the actual pen, but there are some touch functionalities that are present there, from turning on a laser pointer, from turning on the ability of basically scribbling, off-screen basically note-taking on the main display, and of course launching the memo automatically just by swiping from the top right. It's an automatic shortcut that we've seen in the past. The keyboard, by the way, still has all of the shortcuts we've seen before, multi-window, well, the ability of basically taking a screenshot, reducing all windows, going into the recents, all of those are still present there. So I'm really appreciative of all the things that they've kept and the things that they've improved in the general usability. The processor is very fast. Again, RAM storage configuration, depending on the one that you're going to pick up, you're not going to be disappointed. And I think what we're looking for right now with the initial 24 hours is I'm very happy to see that OnePlus not only stayed on the same course with the OnePlus Pad, but doubled down and gave us even more power for a very small nominal increase. So think about the fact that what they released it last year at about 479, 469, and that was with the Dimensity 9000. Now they're going with the Gen 3, and they're literally only going less than $100 over that, providing you a much more bang for the buck experience. Now, you're able to pick up the keyboard and the pen separately. There is some going to be combos and so on, but the pre-order session, or the duration of the pre-order area, is going to go in starting the 16th throughout the end of the month. And then shortly after that, hopefully we'll be able to start seeing them on Amazon, so you can pick it up from your personal, your favorite retailer. But pre-orders are going to be running directly on their site. I'll give you guys a link in the description below. I am very excited to see what they have. I want to spend some more time with the tablet, but my initial 24 hours are very positive, and I seriously cannot wait to just basically daily drive this and even take this as my primary computing process, because again, the Gen 3 is a very powerful processor. We have enough RAM, enough storage to be able to basically connect and transfer content to it from our smartphone and edit from it and upload it directly to YouTube. Because of the functional options that we have in here, the landscape just works perfectly. That interoperability between the two systems, that means I don't even have to worry about nearby sharing, connecting wires. I literally will grab all my content directly from my Open, my OnePlus 12, dump it directly into the tablet, edit it, get it done, and send it out. So let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of the OnePlus Pad 2? Is this as exciting to you as it is to me? And what would you like me to focus on in my full review, hopefully coming up very soon for you guys? Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. And of course, as usual, I will see you in the next one.